Have you ever met someone who seems to feel everything, just a little deeper than the rest of us? Someone who can sense sadness behind your smile, or offer a hug that feels like coming home. Here's a secret most people don't realize: this isn't just sensitivity. It's a kind of superpower. Today, we're going to explore a side of Cancer that almost no one talks about. You see, Cancer isn't just the emotional soul of the Zodiac. Hidden beneath that soft heart lies incredible strength, deep intuition, and a quiet kind of wisdom that can change lives. But what if I told you that what we often mistake as weakness is actually one of the rarest forms of power? In this video, you'll discover 18 hidden talents that Cancer carries within them. And whether you're a Cancer yourself, or someone close to you was born under this sign, what you're about to learn will forever change how you see emotions, relationships, and even your own heart. So grab a moment for yourself. Stay with me till the end, because this journey might surprise you. If you enjoy discovering the deeper sides of human nature, don't forget to like this video. Share it with someone you love, and hit subscribe so you won't miss more powerful insights like this. Are you ready to see Cancer in a way you've never seen before? Let's begin. Have you ever noticed how some people seem unafraid to show their emotions? Not because they're weak, but because they understand that vulnerability is a kind of strength. That's something Cancer souls know instinctively. From childhood, many Cancers find themselves feeling things others brush aside. They might cry during a simple goodbye, or feel heavy in their chest when someone else in the room is hurting. People often tell them they're too sensitive. But what if that sensitivity isn't a flaw? What if it's their greatest strength? Cancers are gifted with the courage to show their hearts, even when the world encourages walls instead of windows. Picture this: a Cancer friend holding back tears during a difficult conversation, but finally letting them fall. Not out of weakness, but as an act of trust. They let you see their pain, and in doing so, they give you permission to embrace your own. Vulnerability is not a mask for Cancers. It's their most honest language. And that emotional openness? It leads us to their next hidden power, turning sensitivity into something far more powerful than anyone expects. You see, Cancer doesn't just feel emotions. They understand them. They read the energy in a room like others read books. When a friend is silently struggling, a Cancer senses it. Even when no words are spoken. It's like they have emotional radar. Think about that one friend who checks on you just when you need it most. Often, that's a Cancer. But there's something deeper here. They don't just absorb emotions. They transform them. They can take the sadness in the air and replace it with comfort. They sense tension and gently ease it away. It's not magic. It's empathy at its highest form. And it makes them anchors in relationships, in families, and in friendships. In everyday life, this power shows up quietly. Maybe it's the way a Cancer listens when no one else does. Maybe it's the warm silence they offer when words feel too heavy. They aren't trying to fix your problems. They're simply making space for your heart to breathe. And in a world obsessed with solutions, that's a gift few can give. Another hidden gift lies in how they recognize silence itself as a form of communication. Think about how often we fill conversations with noise. Meaningless words, nervous laughter, empty chatter. Cancers don't do that. They're comfortable sitting with silence. Why? Because they know that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. It says, "I'm here. I'm with you. I don't need you to explain." Imagine someone sitting beside you after a long, painful day. They don't ask questions. They don't push you to talk. They just sit there, maybe holding your hand, maybe just being near. That's a Cancer's way of loving. They hear what you can't say. They feel what you're not ready to share. And they respect it. In their silence, you find understanding. This gift is rare. It takes emotional maturity to honor silence. But Cancers are old souls when it comes to emotions. They don't fear the quiet. They use it to listen, not to words, but to the energy of your heart. Now let's talk about nostalgia. For Cancer, memories aren't just the past. They're alive. Each moment shared, each laugh, each tear, they carry it all like a precious diary written in the soul. While others move on, Cancer holds on. Not out of inability to let go, but because those memories give meaning to the present. A song, a scent, a familiar road, and suddenly, they're back to childhood summers, late-night talks, or holding someone's hand in silence. Some might say that's being stuck in the past. But here's the truth, Cancers use nostalgia to deepen the present. Remembering a loved one's favorite meal? A small anniversary others forgot? The kind gesture someone did years ago? Cancer remembers. Because in their world, love is built from small moments, not grand gestures. And by cherishing the past, they strengthen the ties that hold relationships together now. So next time you feel guilty for remembering too much, don't. Let Cancer teach you that nostalgia isn't weakness. It's a bridge between hearts. It's a way to honor love that once was, and carry it into love that still is. At their core, Cancers invite us all to slow down. To feel without fear. To speak without words. And to remember, because every memory matters when it's tied to love. Their emotional depth isn't just who they are. It's the light they offer to the world. And maybe, it's a light we all need to find inside ourselves. There's something magical about how Cancer uses their intuition. Not in a mystical way, but in a deeply human, almost invisible way. While others look for answers and facts, Cancer listens to something quieter, something softer, the whisper of their gut feeling. They can sense when something isn't right, even when no one says a word. Maybe it's in the way someone avoids eye contact, or how a voice trembles slightly on the phone. Cancer notices. Not because they're searching, but because their soul is tuned to hidden frequencies that others ignore. Think about a moment when you doubted yourself, when something inside told you to wait, to step back, or to take a chance even when logic screamed no. That inner voice? For Cancer, it's not occasional. It's constant. Their intuition is like a quiet compass guiding their choices, their friendships, their love. And here's the part most people miss. Their intuition isn't just about protecting themselves. It's also about protecting others. They sense danger long before it arrives. They feel when someone needs help before that person ever speaks. They're the friend who messages you at midnight, saying, "Are you okay?" Just when you needed someone the most. That's not coincidence. That's their gift. But intuition alone isn't enough. Knowing when to step away, when to retreat, that's where Cancer shows another kind of wisdom. People often mistake pulling back as weakness. But Cancers know better. Sometimes, stepping away is an act of self-respect. Like the crab that carries its home, Cancer withdraws not to escape but to protect their soul. Imagine this, in a room full of noise and tension, where everyone tries to outtalk one another, Cancer simply leaves. Not out of fear, but to preserve peace within themselves. They know not every battle needs to be fought. Not every confrontation deserves energy. Walking away can sometimes be the strongest choice. In relationships too, this instinct plays out. When trust is broken, when love turns cold, Cancer senses the shift. And instead of clinging, they choose distance. Not to punish, but to heal. They retreat into their shell to find clarity. To remember who they are without the chaos around them. It's a form of emotional self-care we can all learn from. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors we choose to close for a while, so we can rest. Now, here's something unexpected about Cancer. Despite their soft heart, they inspire tenderness in others, often without even trying. Their gentle nature acts like a mirror, reflecting back the forgotten kindness within people. Have you ever been around someone who simply makes you want to be softer? Who makes you lower your guard without a word? That's what Cancer does. Through their calm presence, their quiet smile, they invite others to slow down, to feel, to care. This is why people open up to them. Share secrets they've never spoken. Cancer doesn't force trust. They earn it just by being themselves. Their listening is healing. Their silence is comforting. In a world that praises strength as toughness, Cancer teaches that true strength is tenderness. That gentleness can break walls no argument ever could. And this isn't just kindness for the sake of it. It's survival. In relationships, in families, in work, the ability to awaken tenderness keeps human connection alive. Let's pause here for a moment. Have you ever noticed how, during a crisis, some people fall apart, while others become the calm in the storm? Cancers are those anchors. When chaos reigns, when emotions spiral, Cancer often steps into a quiet leadership role without saying a word. They hold the space. Their calm energy reassures others that peace is still possible. Not because they have all the answers, but because they carry inner stability. Imagine a family argument, voices raised, emotions flying. While everyone argues, Cancer stays silent. Watching. Listening. Waiting for the right moment. Then, with a soft word or a simple act, they redirect the energy. Their calmness acts like a reset button. It gives people a chance to breathe. In teams, in friendships, Cancers become the ones people turn to, not for solutions, but for peace. And here's something beautiful. This calm energy isn't something they learn. It's something they're born with. It's not about pretending to be strong. It's about carrying quiet faith in the middle of the storm. When everything feels like it's falling apart, Cancer reminds us that peace isn't out there. It's inside. And when you're near them, you start to believe it too. Each of these hidden talents paints a picture of a soul who navigates life through feeling, through silence, through intuition and inner calm. But don't mistake these gifts for passive qualities. They are active, powerful forces shaping how Cancer moves through life and how they shape the lives of everyone around them. And the most fascinating part? The deeper we go, the more we discover that Cancer's greatest strengths are often hidden where the world doesn't look. Vulnerability. Silence. Tenderness. Calm. But what comes next might surprise you even more. Because in the final 3 secrets of Cancer's soul, we'll uncover the truths that challenge everything we thought we knew about strength, love, and protection. Stay with me. The most powerful revelations are still to come. There's something beautiful about how Cancer souls create safe spaces for others. It's not about building perfect homes or filling rooms with expensive things. It's about the feeling. The quiet peace that surrounds you when you're near them. Maybe it's in the way they listen without rushing you. Maybe it's the way their presence makes you feel accepted, even on your worst days. For Cancer, emotional safety is sacred. They instinctively understand that people need more than solutions. People need to feel seen. And that's what they offer. Not grand advice, not complicated plans. Just warmth. Just presence. Just the silent message, you're safe here. In everyday life, this shows up in small ways. A Cancer partner who keeps the house peaceful, knowing you've had a long day. A Cancer friend who invites you over not for the event, but simply because they know you need rest. They're the ones who text, "Come over, I've made tea." No pressure. No expectations. Just a soft place for your soul to land. And in a fast, overwhelming world, that's rare. That's priceless. But how do they do it? Part of the answer lies in how they lead with empathy. Not as a choice, but as a way of existing. Cancers feel before they think. They sense your mood before you explain it. They understand your silence before you break it. Their empathy isn't passive. It's active. It shapes how they respond to the world around them. When someone is hurting, Cancer steps in naturally. Not to fix, but to hold space. To offer softness in a world that often demands toughness. Here's something powerful to remember: Cancer doesn't seek to control. They seek to comfort. They don't lead with force. They lead with feeling. And this challenges what many of us have been taught. In leadership, in relationships, we're told that strength means pushing forward, speaking louder, standing taller. But Cancer teaches another path. Leading through care. Through understanding. Through quiet support. And it works. It builds trust. It builds loyalty. Because people remember how you made them feel. Not what you said. There's also a hidden depth in how Cancer understands emotional patterns. They notice when cycles repeat, even when others don't. Maybe it's in a friend who always falls for the wrong person. Or in themselves, when they feel drawn to situations that hurt them. Cancer sees the pattern not as a failure, but as a lesson. They believe that emotions, even painful ones, are teachers. They don't run from heartbreak. They study it. They ask, what is this pain trying to show me? And that's a lesson we can all learn. Instead of judging ourselves for our mistakes, what if we became curious? What if every emotional setback was seen as a clue? A signpost pointing us towards healing? Cancer does this naturally. Their emotional memory helps them recognize these invisible threads. They carry the past within them, not to be trapped by it, but to understand the map of their soul. And through this deep awareness, they break cycles that others don't even see. But perhaps one of Cancer's most healing gifts is how they transform their own pain into compassion. Many Cancers carry old wounds. Maybe from childhood. Maybe from love that ended too soon. Maybe from years of being told they're too sensitive. But instead of letting those scars harden them, Cancer does something different. They let their pain soften them. They turn it into understanding. Into kindness. Into gentle words for others who are hurting. You'll often find that the person who comforts you best is the one who's been hurt in the same way. Cancer knows this. Their pain becomes their empathy. Their scars become bridges. And this isn't easy. It takes immense strength to turn heartbreak into hope. To turn loss into love. But Cancer does it quietly. Consistently. And their kindness feels so real, because it's born from their own survival. And then there's something even more subtle. Something most people miss. It's how Cancer offers healing through silence itself. Have you ever sat with someone, saying nothing, yet feeling understood? That's Cancer's silent presence. They don't rush to speak. They don't try to fill every pause. They simply stay. And in that stillness, they offer something most people crave but rarely find: unconditional presence. A reminder that sometimes healing doesn't come from words. It comes from simply not being alone. So next time you're tempted to speak when someone cries, remember Cancer's lesson. Be the quiet beside them. Let your presence say, I'm here. You're not alone. Each of these gifts tells us something essential about Cancer souls. They don't heal with power. They heal with softness. They don't lead with control. They lead with care. And in doing so, they remind us that emotions aren't weaknesses to hide, they're bridges to connection. But don't be fooled. Behind this tenderness, behind the safe spaces, the empathy, the quiet listening, Cancer holds deeper truths. Hidden strengths that might surprise you. Because in the final 3 revelations, we'll uncover the most controversial, the most misunderstood, and perhaps, the most life-changing aspects of Cancer's soul. What if I told you that true strength lies exactly where the world tells us to hide? Stay with me. The last secrets are the most important of all. There's something quiet yet powerful about how Cancer uses their emotional memory to build deeper trust. Most people forget the small details over time. But not Cancer. They remember. They remember the stories you once told in passing. The little fears you shared late at night. The way you take your coffee. These small things may seem unimportant. But to Cancer, they're everything. They're proof that you matter. Proof that you've been seen. And it's not just about remembering facts. It's about remembering feelings. Cancer recalls how you looked when you laughed without worry. How your voice sounded the day you were excited about life. They carry those moments like treasures inside their heart. And when life gets heavy, when you've forgotten how to smile, Cancer reminds you. With a word, with a gesture, or sometimes just with their presence. They help you reconnect to the version of yourself that you thought was lost. That's how they build trust. Slowly. Quietly. Not through grand promises, but through small, consistent moments that say, I remember you. I see you. And in this fast-moving world, where everyone is rushing ahead, Cancer teaches us the power of slowing down. The importance of holding on to memories. Not to live in the past, but to honor the journey. To honor the people we meet along the way. But here's where it gets more personal. Cancer understands that sometimes, loving others means knowing when to protect yourself. This is why they balance giving love with guarding their heart. You see, Cancer loves deeply. Fiercely. But they've also learned the hard way that not everyone values that love. Not everyone deserves their energy. So, while they may open their arms easily, they don't open their soul without reason. Have you ever trusted too quickly? Given too much, too soon, only to feel hurt? Cancer knows that pain. They've felt it. And over time, they've learned that loving doesn't mean losing yourself. That protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's necessary. They remind us that boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about knowing who is safe to let close. And who is not. Cancer teaches that real love respects boundaries. Real connection honors emotional safety. Loving wisely isn't cold. It's wise. And it's something we all need to practice. There's another hidden strength Cancer carries. One that often stays invisible to others. It's the way they use their emotional memory, their understanding of people's patterns, to build deep trust over time. They don't rush closeness. They let it grow naturally. Because they know that trust built slowly lasts. It's in remembering that important date others forgot. It's in listening when no one else noticed your silence. It's in standing by your side, not just during celebrations, but during the nights when you felt broken. And there's beauty in how Cancer doesn't ask for recognition. They don't need applause. They just quietly love. Quietly support. Quietly heal. But there's something even more remarkable. Cancer recognizes that family is more than blood. It's a spiritual anchor. To them, family is sacred. It's where their soul feels most connected. Most safe. And yet, they also know that family isn't always the people you're born to. Sometimes, family is the people who choose you. The people who love you without conditions. Cancer feels this deeply. They build families with their hearts. Think about those people in your life who feel like home. Who love you as you are. Cancer naturally nurtures these bonds. They protect them. And they hold on to them tightly. Whether it's celebrating birthdays, holding on to childhood traditions, or simply keeping in touch through a simple thinking of you message. Cancer maintains these connections. Because they understand that in the end, life is about the people you love. And the people who love you back. Their loyalty here is unmatched. They'll forgive mistakes, bridge distances, and heal old wounds. Not because it's easy, but because, to Cancer, family is worth the effort. Worth the work. Worth the endless patience. It's a kind of quiet devotion that most people don't notice until they've lost it. Until they realize that the person who held the family together was cancer all along. This deep connection to family, to memories, to emotional safety, it's not a strategy. It's not something they learn. It's who they are. Their soul craves belonging. Their heart needs connection. And so they build it wherever they can, with whomever they trust. Each of these gifts shows us that cancer's strength isn't about leading armies or chasing victories. It's about something quieter, something softer. The ability to create spaces where others feel safe to be themselves. The ability to love while protecting their own heart. The wisdom to remember that real family is chosen by the soul. But if you think you've understood cancer fully, think again. Because what comes next will reveal their most controversial gifts. Talents that many mistake for weakness. But that might, in fact, be their greatest source of power. In the final part of this journey, we'll explore the 3 deepest, most misunderstood secrets of cancer's soul. Secrets that could change the way you see love and the way you see yourself. Stay with me. What you're about to hear might change everything. There's something most people don't expect from a cancer. It's their ability to transform pain into art. You might not notice it right away, because cancer rarely tells the full story of their wounds. But if you pay attention, you'll see it. In the way they write. In the way they create. In the way they turn their quiet sadness into beauty that touches others. Maybe it's the song they wrote after a heartbreak. The poem hidden in their journal. The paintings no one else has seen. Or simply the way they care for others more deeply after their own heart was broken. Cancer doesn't waste pain. They let it shape them. Not into something harder, but into something softer. Something more human. They know that suffering, though heavy, can be transformed. Can be turned into healing. Not just for themselves, but for those around them. Their pain becomes their empathy. Their heartbreak becomes their art. Their loss becomes their reason to love harder. And in a world where so many people numb their pain, cancer turns theirs into stories. Into music. Into hugs that linger just a little longer. And this transformation is not dramatic. It's subtle. Quiet. Powerful. Just like them. Yet perhaps their most misunderstood gift is their incredible intuition. People often mistake it for mood swings. For overthinking. But here's the truth, cancer feels what others ignore. They sense what others hide. Not through logic. Not through observation. But through something deeper. A silent knowing. A connection to energies no one else notices. Think about a moment when your gut feeling told you something was wrong. Cancer lives with that sense every day. They walk through the world guided by emotional signals others cannot read. They know when someone is lying, even when the words sound perfect. They sense when a friend is struggling, even when the smile seems real. And they feel shifts in relationships long before anyone else. This isn't magic. It's emotional intelligence at its highest level. It's their soul acting as a compass, pointing them toward people who feel safe, pulling them away from situations that drain their energy, and helping them protect not only themselves, but also the people they love. Because cancer doesn't just use their intuition for their own path. They use it to guide others. To offer silent warnings. To say, "I don't think this is good for you," long before any evidence appears. If you've ever had a cancer friend tell you to be careful, you know what I'm talking about. Their intuition is their protection. Their silent wisdom. And their greatest inner tool for survival. When you understand these 2 final gifts, you begin to see cancer differently. Not as fragile. Not as weak. But as quietly powerful. Emotionally wise. Deeply human. Because their strength doesn't roar. It whispers. It whispers through the poem no one else reads. Through the silent hug you didn't know you needed. Through the feeling of safety they create without effort. And through the quiet voice inside them that always knows what the heart refuses to admit. So maybe, the strongest people are not the ones who speak the loudest. Maybe they're the ones who feel the deepest. And now, as we close this journey, I hope you see Cancer with new eyes. They're not just sensitive souls. They are protectors. They are healers. They are silent warriors of love. If you found yourself somewhere in this story, or if you saw someone you love, remember to treasure that connection. And if you felt something real in this video, consider subscribing to the channel, so you'll never miss the next journey we'll take together. Leave a comment below. Share your thoughts. Share your story. Or simply tell me your zodiac sign. I read every single one. And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it with them. Because sometimes, what we need most is to know that someone else understands. Thank you for being here. And trust me, there are many more secrets of the soul waiting to be explored. I'll see you in the next video.